Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is like the early. I don't know. This. Let me take that back before I say it. This is not the earliest that I've done a live stream. All right, so got a lot of Pixel stuff to talk about today in this live stream, and yeah, the Moto G Stylus. Hey, good morning, Jane. Yeah, I figured that somebody may come in and watch this early, just because it's 8:30 my time. So, like in the East Coast, it's like what? It's 11:30, almost 12 noon. Brian, what's up, man? What's going on? Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, so I'll get into I'll get into well, I was using the Moto G Stylus. Was is the operative term. Um, for some reason, I'm trying to find out exactly what it is that, um, with on the AT&T network, why the Pixel 5 will not connect to its 5G network. That's one of the things that I'm looking into. So I'm trying to figure it out. Trying to, gaining no success at that. So it's kind of sad though. But I mean, it was bound to happen. Like these devices, with what they have, um, you're still using it. Using what? Like which device? Pixel 5. And it's just because of modem. Like a lot of these things leads back to the modem, the Snapdragon X52 modem that's in the Pixel 5, and the fact that AT&T and how they're building out their 5G network is a major play on why the Pixel 5, the 5A, the 4A 5G, why it's not connecting to AT&T's 5G. Like Verizon, it connects, right? It'll connect to its low band 5G. Same as with T-Mobile and T-Mobile's mid band. It connects. It's no problems with that. But on AT&T's network, my Pixel 5 is steadily stuck on LTE, which is not bad. Like, I don't want people to think like, oh, without 5G the phone is just useless. It's not. And LTE is just fine. It still functions. It still does what it needs to do. I'm still able to watch YouTube videos if I want to. Oh, the Moto G Stylus, it's working great for you. Yeah, the Moto G Stylus. I was using it side by side with my Pixel 7a. I got my Pixel 7a on the wireless charger over here. I'm testing just exactly how long does it take on my 5 watt wireless Qi charger, like how long it takes to charge up from 0 to 100. Anyways, so here it is. It got an update. I don't know exactly when the update released, because I turned it on yesterday and was using it for a little while. But the moment that I turned it on, the Moto G Stylus ended up having a software update. So that software update, it didn't bring it to Android 13. So for anyone that was hoping for it, it's still Android 12. It just brought it up to the July 1st, 2023 security patch, and then maybe some bug fixes and that type of stuff. So using it yesterday, and then was using it with the Pixel 7a, and there's some stuff that the Moto G Stylus obviously is going to do a little better. And I'm not talking about like the basic things like having a bigger display like that. That's just inevitable. The phone's built bigger than the Pixel 7a. Obviously when it comes to the software optimization, the smoothness and things like that, the Pixel 7a is going to pretty much take that. Because the Stylus 2022 does kind of lag a little bit here and there. With the latest software update though, I think it's kind of slightly fixed that a little bit, but you still kind of run into that. Believe it or not, there are some things with the camera department on the Stylus 2022 that it outdoes the 7a in the camera department. Gene says, I love my Pixel 7a. In fact, I'm on it right now. Yeah. Motorola hates to do Android software updates for some reason, and they are slow on rolling them out. No, I mean, they don't hate to do software updates. I've pretty much laid out the foundation. I just don't understand why people don't understand it. And I'll say it one more time. The reason that Motorola doesn't do major software overhaul updates on its, mid-level devices like the Moto G Power, the Moto G Stylus, the reason why it doesn't update it from, like, say, Android 12 to Android 13, or why you're not going to really see it for Android 13 and Android 14 on their mid-level devices, is because Motorola is in it to make money, and they cannot sell software updates because it is open source from Google. They can get sued if they were to charge their customers for a software update. So the only way that Motorola can charge anybody for a software update without breaking the rules is just not updating their mid-level devices and just releasing a new device, right? So Moto G Stylus 2022 doesn't get Android 13. People are upset. People are like, hey, where's the software update? So then Motorola releases the Moto G Stylus 2023 that has Android 13. Oh, okay. So now there's an updated version on hardware and software. I'll spend $250 on it. So that's how they look at it. They don't hate to do anything. It's not really hate or love of things. They're not passionate in sense of like what they're building. I mean, they're passionate of what they build, but not in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, Motorola is a business. They want to make money. Does the Pixel 5 have millimeter wave? I didn't see that question. So, I have not tested. I have to look for areas. I don't know if AT&T has millimeter wave in specific areas in my city. I have to look around, kind of see, like, where. Trying to remember some places where Carlos tested when he was down here visiting. To go to those areas and try to test it out. And also, what's his name? The Tech Extremist used to do a lot of speed tests around the city and the outskirts cities. And I'll have to see. As far as like millimeter wave connection on Verizon, yeah, it still does. When I had Visible in the Pixel 5 a month ago, just for a little bit, there's an area right by where my brother lives at, and it has millimeter wave output in that specific area. And the moment that I was in that area, the Pixel 5 did connect. So I think like the download speeds was like a gig down, and like it was like 400 up, something like that. Well, just about every OEM, every smartphone manufacturer, a company that builds smartphones, is not going to put much stock into their mid-range device, because at the end of the day, the mid-range devices is not what people are going after. So like, there are people that's like myself that kind of just gives recognition to the mid-level devices and the budget devices. We tend to do that because we understand that not everyone is going to be comfortable. And I say comfortable because I'm not going to go and say that they can't afford it. Some people can afford flagships but are not comfortable spending $1,000 on a phone, and they would rather just go with a mid-level phone, And for these companies, they know it's not lucrative for them. Okay, like at the end of the day, it's all about it's all about money when it comes to these companies. So like OnePlus, Motorola, they would rather put out a new mid-level device with the latest software update as a big reasoning for you to upgrade from your current device, because that's what they want. And yeah, I miss my Pixel 5, perfect size. Pixel 5 is, it's perfect size for me. I know everyone has their preferences. Some people would say that the size of the Moto G Stylus is the perfect size for them, right? Everyone has their different preferences. People on a budget who like the mid-range devices but do not care about Android updates. Yeah, I mean, there's some people who really don't care. There's people who are just like, you know, they're on Android 12 and they see people talking about Android 14 and they look at the differences and they don't really see a difference. You know, some people don't care about the little things, right? Like the emoji wallpapers. Some people don't care about that. They don't care about, like, oh, you got this battery widget. They don't care about it. I disagree to a degree. The majority of people buy non-flagships. I mean, it's I don't have the statistics to really just kind of compare numbers to say. But what I will say is this: that even though, like, let's say like to a degree, Brian has the numbers, right, and the numbers show that more people go for non-flagships. Okay, even if they did that, still, I mean, these companies are still they're not gonna change their tune when it comes to their mid-level, because again, it's about making money, right? Even let's say like it's at that point, because really, I don't have the numbers to say who's buying what. But for a company, they aren't stupid, right? If they're charging, let's say, $1,200 for the flagship device, and then they know that everyone out there that may not want to spend that much on the phone. So if people out there don't want to spend that much on the phone, then they're not moving enough units to make what they projected their sales would be. They wouldn't go all the way out on that limb, and so therefore, they still got to make money somehow, right? I like to carry two phones and wish there were more small ones. I love the Pixel 4a. Pixel 4a, yeah, definitely, and Pixel 3 size. You can put it in front shirt pockets. Yep, yeah, it's absolutely true. Only like 10% of Samsung phone sales go to the S series, and only 1% to the Fold and Flip. The biggest seller is the A series by country mile, or the M series in India. Yeah, I heard about the M series. Yeah, that's on Samsung statistics, but it's not going to change the fact that these companies are not going to like heavily focus into updating their mid-levels. They would rather just make an upgraded version with the latest software and sell it, because again, they cannot sell Android. That's just something they cannot do. If anyone's ever wondered why, you've never seen a company that is licensed to use the Android software ever go and say, hey, like Samsung. We'll take Samsung for example. You've never seen Samsung go and say, hey, well, we got the Samsung Galaxy J, what was it? Not J5. That was a J10, 2015, and they're like, hey, yeah, we got Lollipop for it, and you can buy it now for $5.99. You never see them do anything like that because they cannot sell the software. But anyways, that's the reason why I like mid-level devices don't get the updates. It's so sad. Most Android users in the United States go to Walmart or a prepaid phone. You can get the Nord 30 for $20 if you buy a $40 plan for Metro, $60 total, and then you have to wait like 5 months to unlock. Yep. Yeah, that is true with Metro. You have to wait. They say 180 days, and it will automatically unlock on Metro. So, yep, that is true. And, especially today, with the way that the economy is and just like how bad it is. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, like I was saying, using the Moto G Stylus at a time alongside my Pixel 7a. And there are things that I would do on this, like playing games on here, obviously a bigger display, watching videos and stuff like that was a real big thing. So, yeah, right now I took this thing out, put it in my Pixel 5 just because I'm just doing a little bit of work with some people that I know. They're trying to solve the big mystery as to what is it that cuts off the Pixel 5 from AT&T's 5G network, because it doesn't get it. Now, me personally, when it comes between 5G and LTE, it's not a big thing for me. It's not something where I feel like, my phone is completely obsolete just because it's only an LTE connection. I don't feel that way. I'm not a 5G junkie. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way for those people that like absolutely enjoy the 5G networks from Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Like I don't mean that at all whatsoever. That's not what I'm saying to that degree. But what I'm saying is that we've been using LTE before 5G was ever released out for public use, and we were all doing just fine. And sometimes I kind of laugh, just when people get into these arguments over 5G connectivity and they want to argue, and it's just like, what's the point of arguing? I mean, what are you arguing about? Type of thing. I see this on social media quite a bit, and I'm just like, what are you guys fighting about? Can you access my bad? Like, can you access your Facebook? Can you access YouTube? Can you access any of those things? If the answer is yes, then who gives a shit if it's 5G connected or LTE connected? As long as you're able to get that connection, it holds a connection, it's not draining the shit out of your battery to keep that connection, then you're golden. But some people are just like, they want that connectivity. Yeah, it's only working on LTE. I'll show you guys. So I can't name the company that I am using, or I'll get into trouble if I say their name, but that should give you an idea of who I'm talking about. And they use they're an MVNO and AT&T. And when I've used different SIM cards like Google Fi and Visible, the option for 5G is there. Now, as you guys can see, there, in preferred network, 5G is not an option. It says LTE recommended. Usually it'll say like 5G recommended, LTE recommended, 3G recommended. Now, if I was to go into the dialer app, and let me just type it in real quick, *#, 4636 #*. And if I was to go into phone information, down here at the bottom, you're supposed to be able to turn on 5G. You can turn on 5G that way, just by tapping on it and then selecting any one of the preferred network types like GSM, WCDMA, LTE, and then NR. That should enable and engage 5G. When I do that, it falls back to GSM, WCDMA, LTE. It completely kicks out of NR. And that's just because, if you guys can look it up, there's articles that talks about it where AT&T is, it's 5G is only supposed to support newer devices, right? And like some of the older devices can still, possibly connect. But then there's also, a double action. So it's kind of like Google and AT&T's fault. So AT&T wants to, its 3.45 gigahertz 5G capacity, signal is mostly going to connect with newer devices 2022 and newer. And then you got Google, who released the March update, the March security patch update this year, that actually ended up disabling 5G connectivity for a lot of people with the Pixel 5, the 4a 5G, and the Pixel 5a are all reporting that they get no connectivity. So it's a double-ended thing. You got Pixel 5s got screwed on the Google side, they got screwed on the AT&T side. Like I said, I put different carriers in there, so their 5G mid-band and low-band connects to the Pixel 5. It's AT&T side that is not. I would love a donut. I would definitely love a donut, babe. Especially when it comes hot out of the fryer, because then it's all soft and delicious. Anyways, so on top of that, so the Pixel 7a is on the golden side. It'll be okay. I don't know if it's going to connect to that 3.45 gigahertz spectrum, but if it does, that's great. I haven't seen some noticeable differences around my area when it comes to the AT&T network and it being connected. Hey, Chad, what's going on, man? So AT&T is making strides. There's just a lot of this stuff happening where they're raising prices on their plans and those types of things. So now people are just they're not too happy. And then you have all these side options like the option that I'm on, and its pricing is lower, but then you're also having to deal with it being on a lesser priority access than AT&T's postpaid customers, which is confirmed. I haven't ate breakfast yet at all, babe. Not yet. I'll probably have some oatmeal later. AT&T doing shady stuff. I guess so. I mean, but then at the same time too, like a lot of the older devices are no longer supported, right? Like, one of the devices that like I absolutely still enjoy using is the Pixel 4 XL and the Pixel 4. Mostly the 4 XL just because better battery than the 4. But I can I can use the 4 and not be like depressed because the battery kills out quickly. But I really like those two devices, and it's already no longer supported by Google. Like, it's not getting any more software updates. It's not like if you wanna keep your Pixel 4 XL and your Pixel 4 up to date, like, you're gonna have to get into the business of knowing how to modify your device and flash a custom ROM. That's the only way you're gonna have it on, say, going forward to Android 14 and maybe Android 15. Things do become obsolete, which is why I also said too, like, one thing that Google can do is take this design. Like, I know they gotta have leftover parts that they never fully built out a Pixel 5, and they don't they want to recycle it. The best way to do it is just to create a fan edition. First one being this particular phone, the Pixel 5, with updated specs. So drop a Tensor G2 in it. I'm not asking them to put the G3 chip in there, although if they decide to do that, that'd be really sweet. And then just modify the update. So use the same camera sensor that's in the Pixel 7a, and throw that in there to update it from a 12.2 megapixel to a 64 megapixel on the back end. They definitely can do that. I'm sure people will go and buy it. I'm sure people would go out if they modernize the Pixel 5 and they did updated specifications, updated hardware components, and this thing was released at $399. Whew, man, I see so many people going after it. Oh, the audio eraser comes to all devices with Google. Chad, you just threw out there what I'm going to talk about the Pixel 8 way before I even get into the Pixel 8. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. At least with Android, you get Google Play service updates. Like, yes, so the apps are still going to be basically supported, unlike iOS. Yeah, definitely. I know. I understand what you mean. And I can still use an unsupported device. The Pixel 2 XL is still in my rotation from time to time. As my secondary device, I'll pop the SIM out of the Pixel 5 and throw it in the Pixel 2 XL or the 4 XL or the 3A. I have the Pixel 3A on deck. I'll throw it in there and I'll use it, and it's no problem. It probably won't because it's so close to the 7A. No, I know what you mean by it. I was just wishful thinking if they were to revive the Pixel 5 and kind of do that, you know what I mean? Like maybe like 3 years from now, revive the exact look of the Pixel 6 or 6A and give it modern specs. Pretty much like what they do with the iPhone SEs on Apple's side, right? They could do something like that with the Pixel 5 and going forward with different devices. That'd be nice. I think people would appreciate that. Of course, from Google's standpoint, their big thing is there's gonna be a big question as to why to do it, and that's where it goes. A small collective group that think alike is not enough for Google to want to just say, okay, we're gonna do it for the masses, right? Like, they have to see an interest in the entire world for it in order for them to say, hey, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So, all right, and you know what? I mean, if they do ever decide to do that, I'd be a happy camper. If not, then, because Google Pixel phones are great, and they're great beyond just, photography. They're great beyond that. They're great beyond the fact that, they're running, Google's intended version of Android, and, and that their software supported, and they're very smart devices, and they really are smart devices, and the smartness of a Pixel device has to be borrowed and adopted on iPhones, right? And I said that, and someone might take offense to it, and they might go into the corner somewhere and bawl out in tears and cry. But it is the truth, though. Like a lot of the the intelligence of a Google Pixel device, gets supported on iPhones, and it's not directly through an iOS, but obviously it's through Google App Services, right? So like for the longest time, Google Pixel devices, when they released the Magic Eraser to remove objects and people in your photos, allowing your photos to remain like clutter free of clutter. That was a pretty big deal. That was a big deal in Google Pixels. And that was one of the things that people love to brag about. They were, hey, look what I could do. Yeah. I don't have to wait like you to take a picture of my family at Disneyland. I don't care. All these people are in the back. Snap my photo and got a great pose of my kids. I'm like, okay, now it's time to banish, the 128 people in the background. Boom, to get rid of that. And yeah, and now we're getting new features coming, like like the ability to be like, okay, you have a cropped photo and you want to widen the photo. So apparently through Google software, AI intelligence, and world map views, you can actually extend the sides of your photos with it being able to do it like it's natural, without any issues at all. And it's like, but that's insanely cool. Now we're getting a new feature that's coming on the Pixel 8. More likely it'll come out on the Pixel 8 for a while and eventually get backported to older Pixel devices, as it's going to be beta tested on the newer Pixel 8 and 8 Pro when that releases later on this year. And that is the Magic Audio Eraser. So this is going to be a content creator's dream right here. Being able to record video with your Google Pixel phone, have all these weird background noises, and AI identify these different noises, and you picking and choosing, okay, somebody honked the horn while I was vlogging. I don't want it in the video. You go through the Magic Audio Eraser and it's able to identify different sounds, and you can choose the sounds you want to erase, and it will erase it out of the audio of your video. So you literally have a lot of power in your hand. And quite honestly, I do see a lot of YouTubers that may get the Pixel 8, and that's one of the focuses that they're really going to focus about with the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. When they do the reviews, is they're going to be like, yo, this Magic Audio Eraser is amazing. And, they'll probably make like vlog videos, like a day in the life of the Pixel 8 and the use of Magic Audio Eraser. And then they're going to vlog their entire day with the Pixel 8 or with the Pixel 8 Pro. And they are going to keenly identify moments that were like really noisy in their vlog. And then they're going to have, B-roll footage showing you guys how they edited the audio and took out a lot of the background noise. And that's going to be insane. Insane that I do see like a lot of content creators are going to jump on the Pixel bandwagon. They're going to love the Pixels for about 2-3 months and then fall back to whatever they really actually love, like their Galaxy device, their iPhone, or whatever they're using. And that's just the name of the game here. That's how it is with this whole carousel. I'll admit, I download people's artwork from Twitter X and use Magic Eraser to remove their signature watermarks. I mean, hey, you know what? A lot of people do that too. There are people that do that from videos and stuff like that. There are people that do that for their Instagrams. I mean, if you got it, you got it. You know what I mean? No big deal. Right? As long as, the only time you got to worry about something like that is if you're like taking somebody's art, you're removing their signature off it, and then you're posting it online for sale and having people buy it from you. Yeah, then you'll be in trouble. Yeah. So the way that it works is think of it like, if you can take audio and make it visual, think about it like how it does with Magic Eraser, right? So like, if you have like a dog, a cat, a bird, and a human in the background, right? You can select one of them to remove out with Magic Eraser, or you can use it's suggested to remove all of them out of your background, right? So like if you're recording a video for your family, say, you know, you're walking around the downtown city area of where you live, and you're making a video showing, you know, a cousin that lives, you know, maybe like on in a different country or something like that. You want to show them like what your neighborhood looks like, and you're doing a walkthrough of your downtown. You got your phone out, you're recording it, and some jerk who has no respect is like cussing like a sailor, right? When you use the Magic Audio Eraser, it's going to identify all different sounds as individuals, right? So, and you can actually play. Okay, from what I saw from demos, you can actually play the sound so you know specifically what sound it's identifying. If it's like audio number 1 or audio number 2, audio number 3. I'm not saying that that's how they're going to label each sound, but I'm just, you know, giving an example. And you should be able to press play to hear that specific sound. And if that sound you don't want in your audio of your video, then you're able to remove it. And it will remove it plus any other sounds created by that target point. So if you want to remove that person's entire statement, you can. Like I said, it's going to be an insane tool for the Pixel 8. An insane tool. Given the fact that, you know, that's insane. Now, I'm a bit realistic when it comes to these things. While they're so cool and we can fanboy and fangirl out on them, I don't expect it to work 100% accurately upon release. I do feel like that there's going to be moments where you use the Magic Audio Eraser and it may not be able to identify a background noise and isolate it from the rest of the audio or the video. Okay, and I know I'm gonna see people talking about it like this Magic Audio Eraser sucks. It didn't do this in the time. Like, you know, everyone thinks something sucks when it doesn't work specifically to what they need done at that moment. And that's just the nature of the tech game. This is the reason why sometimes I go on my little rant and kind of like trash on the entire thing, is just because some people just, you know, they have unreal expectations, and sometimes I think they need to pull their head out of their ass and come down from cloud 9. Just because something doesn't work 100% accurate doesn't mean that it's garbage. And it's funny how people will pick and choose. Apple does something and it doesn't work 100% out of the garbage. It's okay because she likes Apple, he likes Apple, they like Apple. I don't want to upset the herd, so I like Apple too, type of thing. And they'll get a pass. Everyone over there is like, oh, you know, Google Pixels suck. They can't get nothing right. Oh, yeah. I was doing their new Magic Audio Eraser, and then there was this bird that farted. It couldn't identify the fart, so it's stuck in the video. Like, get the, you know what I mean? Get out of here with that. You know, just people have their preferences, and they let their preferences just kind of like overshadow. Hey, I do it too. If someone wants to come back and be like, yeah, well, you know what? You call yourself Mr. Pixel. You love pixels. You nonstop talk about pixels. We get fucking annoyed of you and your pixels, dude. Like, okay, well then you get annoyed with it. Go somewhere. Go somewhere. You know, Google Pixel phones are smart. They're smart. There's a reason why I like them. Yeah, they always bring something new to the table. So like that is where, you know, the question in the title of this podcast is exactly like, you know, like why Google Pixels? Like, what is it about Google Pixels that, you know, is the reason why like I'm so behind, you know, the brand. I'm so behind the devices. I always talk about them. I talk about my overjoyed experiences with them that some people don't have that same experience. You know, I talk about it, and the reason why is because, like, you know, some people will say that mobile technology has become stale, right? We've hit the glass ceiling. No one's broke through just yet. You know, because we're mostly relying on candy bar style smartphones. Foldable technology is probably like, you know, the only really innovative thing that we can even talk about in the last 4 years when it comes to smartphones. 4 or 5 years, and that's about it. You know, foldable, touchable displays, and there's not really anything else, right? Like, we're not having anything innovative like, you know, the LG Wing. We're not having anything like that, you know. And you know, I'm not saying that Google has innovative new design for a smartphone. They haven't, right? The latest even innovative sense you can even come close to that is the Pixel Fold, and it's just fold. It's a foldable device. That's it. But, you know, Samsung and other companies are doing that, so it's not something that sets itself apart. But I feel like that Google with all these things that they do software wise, keeps it interesting, keeps it a little bit interesting. You know, the Magic Audio Eraser, right? Magic Eraser. The also new upcoming feature in Photos, being able to take a cropped image and extend its field view. I don't know exactly how much more, like what the precise percentage of visual increasement there is, but we're going to be able to do that, and that's insane. That is crazy that you're going to be able to do that, to get a more wider shot. Jeez, you know. Now people understand why Google was so heavily about Google Maps and you know, Street View on Google Maps and everything. Why you saw the Google van drive down your neighborhood with the camera, and it's like consistently taking pictures inch by inch by inch. It feeds all this information and you know this data into their software, into AI, right? And it's not only so that way you can find places and see places and stuff like that, but it's also to build tools just like, you know, that I forgot what it's called, but you know, to be able to extend a cropped photo to a bit of a wider form. You know, where do you think that the software gets the information to know that, you know, you snapped a photo of a person sitting on a bench at the Santa Monica Pier, and how does it know that that bench goes another 1.5 feet length to the left, right? Well, that's how, because of these images that was captured by Google for, you know, Google Street View and Google Maps. Obviously, that information is fed into Google's AI. And while AI is continuing to get smarter and smarter, you got people that are loving downloading ChatGPT from Microsoft onto their Android devices and being able to use that. You know, not a lot of people are happy with Bard. I think that Bard was just a field test for certain things, and that model is actually being fed into Google Assistant to make Google Assistant still king of AI. AI responses, an AI assistant, basically, is what I meant. And yeah, you know, so I know that there's different countries that want to regulate AI. There's different countries that want AI to be scaled back in its intelligence and how much control we have, because they absolutely fear what was brought out in James Cameron's movie, Terminator. Can you imagine that that's happening? By the way, this is a side note, and I'll probably talk about it in a future video. Like, do you know that somebody actually like spent a whole 1-hour YouTube video discussing about the Terminator being linked to the Matrix, and how the Terminator was actually the kickoff start of the war between humans and machines, and then leads into how it's connected to the Matrix? I'll probably talk about that in a future video, but I just had to point that out since I brought up the Terminator. Yeah, so the Pixel 8 has a lot going for it, right? Gonna launch with Android 14 as the stock OS in the device, right? 3 years of major software support, 5 years of security patches. People can complain, to each their own. Some people want their, you know, for me, like, I don't, and I may sound like a real dick for saying this, but I think that a lot of people don't have a leg to stand on anymore when it comes to Google Pixel only having 3 years of software support, right? Like, some people will come and they'll argue with me on social media, which is not really an argument because I don't get angry about it. I just laugh. But no, Tron is the original Matrix. So you have people that tend to kind of use that a lot against Google Pixels, right? Oh, you know, it's only getting 3 years. Apple gives you, you know, 5 years or 6 years or whatever. And I tell people to blow it out your ass. It's funny. I'm not gonna name names because I can actually name names of people, but that would like definitely cause arguments and drama, and I'm not gonna do that. But I can name people's names individually who have gone out of their way to literally emphasize, oh, Samsung's beating Google at their own game. Samsung devices are gonna get 4 major software updates. They're gonna get this, that. Apple does this and that. Google, it's your software, and you're not even going to do 4 years or 5 years of software support. Why is everyone hung up on software support for 5 years? There's only like, I don't want to say like it's in a small tent where there's like just a very tiny bit of people, because there are people who just don't care about software updates. There are a lot of them out there, believe it or not. They're not stuck on it. They don't absolutely care. And, you know, but when it comes down to software updates, what's the point? What are you really losing? Especially those who've called out Google for it. What are you losing when you are updating your phone? You're upgrading from phone after phone after phone every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, every 5 months, every 6 months. Like, you're not even on a phone for 2 years operative. So what the hell are you complaining about? That's the question that I ask those people. And they'll know who they are when they hear this question. They'll know who they are. Because they'll think in their head really quickly, I've posted this on Twitter before. Holy shit. Yeah. That's my question to those people that's all hung up on the software updates is, how long have you held your phone? How long have you been actively using your phone? Have you used it 2 years straight? No. Right? Because every time a phone comes out, Pixel 8 comes out, they'll buy it so they could be a part of the crowd that says, hey, I got a Pixel 8. I'm cool like you. And then the iPhone 15 comes out. I want to get an iPhone 15. Samsung next year releases the S series. I got a new Galaxy S series. Right? They're never on the same phone. They're never on the same phone for 2 years. Right? That's why software updates don't really bother me all so much. Right? I was on the Pixel 7 from October of last year. Until June. Was it June? No, July of this year. July of this year, I got the Pixel 7a, and I'm enjoying that. And I gave my wife the Pixel 7. And then, I still have my Pixel 6. The 6a has a smash screen, can't turn on. The Pixel 5 still has a cracked display. Need to take that in and get the display replaced on it. So, I still use all my older devices, and I use my newer devices. I'm always shuffling in between all of them, and so. I'm not going to sit here and be mad at Google for 3 years. Three years of major software updates, when the length of time that you're going to be using these devices, if you wanted to stick to one device and not buy anything else, it's going to be 2 years. 2 years, and it will fall into a role of obsolete. It will. The modems will be outdated. There'll be newer modems that pick up more frequencies better than the previous modems. That's something you just cannot change. And if people want to complain about that and be like, no, well, they should make these phones be able to be supported longer than 2 years. If you feel that way, maybe you should have supported Project Aura from Google, because that was Google building a module device that had modules that you could replace on your smartphone with a more updated piece, right? So they had people called it the Lego phone because it looked like Lego blocks that would plug into the back of the actual phone itself. One block represented the CPU and the GPU. One block represented RAM. One block represented the battery. One block represented the camera sensor. And Google's idea with Project Aura was okay, if you have your Project Aura device built up with a 12 megapixel single shooter, 8 megapixel selfie shooter, you would be able to interchange these things with buying modules specifically, from Google that are updated, and then plug that into the back of your phone, turn your phone on, and boom, now your phone's going to behave differently because it's got updated hardware. That's what Google's vision was for Project Aura. But a lot of people did not like it, support it, or care about it. And then it went to the Google graveyard, right? Other companies try to build modular devices, right? Remember the LG, was it the LG G5? Where you can pull out the bottom piece where the battery is connected to it, and connect the battery into a different module piece that was for the camera or whatever. And then you had Motorola come out with their modular pieces that were just the little Moto mods you can stick to the back of your Moto device. One was a screen projector. One was a speaker, a much enhanced audio speaker. One was there were just so many different ones that they considered to be modular. And, Project Aura had the better idea, but no one really supported it because everyone looks in mobile technology for the short game. No one really thinks of the long game, the long form stuff. And I guess there's a reason why Google Pixels really kind of falls in the center of what I prefer and choose to use. If you lay out every phone that people love out here right now, current today, on a table, and tell me I can only pick one, I'm walking away with the Pixel 7. I'm not going for a Samsung. I'm not going for an iPhone. I'm not going for a Xiaomi, Honor, whatever there is out there. I'm not going for it. I'll walk away with the Pixel. Because they're always adding new things to the Google Pixels, features and stuff like that make it behave and respond differently. You know, all the little key subtle things. Like, you know, I talk about Google Duplex, right? And people still don't know what the hell that is. They've forgotten what it is. And it's like, did you forget that your Google Assistant can establish appointments for you, make outbound calls to businesses on your behalf, and hold a very close to human interaction with other humans on the phone? And you can do that. You can have your assistant call and book a haircut appointment. All you gotta do is tell your assistant, you know, to contact a certain salon and book you an appointment for, you know, August 18th at 3:15 p.m. for, you know, man's haircut. And the assistant will do that for you. Duplex will do that for you. Duplex will get that done. And I even showed a YouTube video just kind of like outlining that. And if you guys want to see that YouTube video, let me know right now. Like, put it in the chat if you guys want to see Google Duplex in demo, and I'll find that video on YouTube and I'll put it up right now for you guys to watch it and see exactly what it can do. Now, has it gotten further? A little bit. We haven't really heard too much from the Google Duplex team as far as advancements in it, but I can tell you that it's getting further. And when this thing is like full wide blown, oh yeah, they're definitely going to highlight it because it's something that Apple and Samsung are not doing. I wouldn't mind more software updates, more on Androids than on iOS, because iOS rarely gives you any new stuff on older devices. Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna plan that. Like, I don't want people to think that like I'm against more software updates. I'm not. You know, I would love them too. I wouldn't argue that point. But realistically, I don't see a reasoning to trash Google on a 3-year major software update support for Google Pixels when people aren't even keeping their devices for 2 years. Now, they're the ones that do hold on to the device, right? That probably won't upgrade to a new Pixel until probably the Pixel 10. Then yeah, I can see that argument sense being justifiable for them, because they're not out, you know, chasing the latest thing that everybody else is going after. You know, my Pixel 7a just updated to Android 13. I just found out about this update and I didn't notice it. What do you mean it updated to Android 13? It's been on Android 13. The Pixel 7a launched with Android 13 and didn't launch with Android 12. Remember, the 7a came out in May of this year. May of this year, Android 13 was already out. So now, did it get a security patch? Yes. Every month, Pixels get a security patch. It's supposed to be on like the first Monday of every month. Sometimes they're late bringing that software update, but nonetheless, it's there. And then, of course, people complain about it. Like, oh, it takes too long to update. Yeah, but at least it's not doing it the old way. Like, I don't care if it takes my Pixel 7a an hour to install, you know, what people would say a measly 47.83 megabyte software update. They'll laugh and be like, it takes an hour? Hell, I don't care, because I can still proactively use my device while it's updating the software in background. I can be on every app that I want to be on and watch media, consume media. And when the software update is done and it needs to restart, it will pop me up a little notification, restart now or restart at 2 a.m. in the morning. And then I can click restart now and it restarts and the software update is installed. Like, you don't have to stare at the software update progression as it's updating. You don't have to stare. You can leave that screen and go to other apps, and that will sit in background doing either its download of the software or doing its software optimization before restart. So I don't really feel the same way that people do when they complain that Google Pixel software updates take too long. I could give a shit if it takes too long. I'm not sitting there staring at its progression. I can do other things on my phone. I don't know. I don't know what all the humbug is about it. You know, biggest major thing that, you know, I'm really looking forward to with the Pixel 8, you know, and it's not about the magic audio eraser. Okay. That is a really cool thing. And I'm really going to be happy to, you know, try that out. Of course, you know, I like my Pixel 7a, so I'm probably not going to go specifically first week of Pixel 8 release, buy the Pixel 8. No, I probably might go for it in December, maybe in January. I'm not out trying to race people against getting their reviews out of the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. Like, people can have it if they're chasing numbers and views on YouTube. You can have it, But I'm just looking forward to the size of the Pixel 8. The size of the Pixel 8, it seems to be it's going to be about the same height as the Pixel 7a. So the Pixel 8 will be a little bit shorter than the Pixel 7, and I welcome that. That's almost close to Pixel 5 territory, which I said is pretty good. Pixel 5 territory is pretty much that. Pixel 8. So I'm not worried about the telephoto lens. So going for the Pro model has never been something that I absolutely want to chase. I feel like the Pro model is there for the people that would use it in a professional way. So I'm not a professional photographer. I like to joke around on my social platforms and say, oh yeah, I'm a wannabe photographer, because I do like taking photos. I like taking pictures of sunsets and sights and things like that I see. But I'm not paid to do it, and no one's paying me for my work. So I'm curious how much better the battery life and thermal control will be. Hopefully, that's majorly addressed in the Tensor G3, right? There's some people have talked about their devices getting warm. I've released my video talking about my Pixel 7a and does it overheat, and I let them know. Yeah, the Pro model is not. I've never really felt it to be anything different. And I go to Best Buy. My wife is in here. She can tell you guys. I'll go to Best Buy and play with these phones. I'll go to their little Google stand, their little setup display area where they have all the Pixels and the Pixel Buds and watch and tablet and all that stuff. And I'll grab the Pro model and I'll grab the regular model and I'll just play around with the phone itself. And there's no difference. There's no difference. I mean, when it comes to the telephoto lens, I don't think hardly anyone really uses the telephoto lens, right? Everyone didn't like the telephoto lens in the Pixel 4 XL, so I don't see why it's such a big deal right now, right? People want to get those ultra zoom shots like the Galaxy S23 that uses AI to replicate the visuals of a full moon. I think it's just called a Pro model just because, it adds on that extra camera sensor. It has a little bit of a bigger display than the regular model. And I don't know. I really don't. I would call it a Pro model if it just if there were certain aspect features that, you could do on the Pro model that you cannot do on the base model, because about 99.993% of the stuff that you can do on the Pixel 7 you can do on the Pixel 7 Pro, vice versa. There are just a few things that the Pixel 7 Pro obviously is going to have, and that's not even really experience. Like the larger screen, that's not an experience per se that would create a Pro experience. The camera would be the only thing that I think that they emphasize on, really. It's just the camera, having the wide angle, ultra wide angle, telephoto, what you're able to do with those 3 camera sensors in photography. And again, remember, Google Pixels is catered to photography, so it's probably why they call it that. My 6A gets warm with the case on, but never hot to the touch, especially out in Las Vegas heat. Yeah, my 7A gets warm, and I mean warm where it's you can really, it's not, it doesn't have that cold feeling like when you pick up a smartphone made out of metal. It's cold. It's not like that when you're really using the heck out of it. But it's never overheated where I was concerned that oh my gosh, the G2 chip is gonna fry out. The battery in there must be swelling up to explode. I never have that type of worry, so I don't worry about it like that. But my 7A is it's a solid phone. I really like it. Yeah, and people face those problems, right? I wish I knew what it was about specific Pixel devices causing it to warm up to like how Brian says it, a hot plate. Because I live in one of the hottest cities in the United States. So if I had Brian's phone, his particular phone, I don't mean having a Pixel 7 Pro. If I had his particular device, his 7 Pro, out here during this time of the year, whoa. If he calls it a hot plate now, yeah, that would be far worse here. It'd be far worse here. You know, let me do that real quick. I want to show you guys duplex. If you guys remember Google duplex, see if I can find that video. My Wi-Fi is being slow this morning. I should have updated it. And by the way, I am simulcasting on both my main channel and the Mr. Pixel channel, which is my dedicated Google Pixel channel. So shout out to whoever's watching in there. Shows me right now that there's one person watching from that channel. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And let's see. Let us find that video, and I will end this live stream on that note. So let me kind of drop this background music. Pause. Okay, let's go here. Let's go there.
Progress with the assistant. As I said earlier, our vision for our assistant is to help you get things done. It turns out a big part of getting things done is making a phone call. You may want to get an oil change schedule, maybe call a plumber in the middle of the week, or even schedule a haircut appointment. You know, we are working hard to help users through those moments. We want to connect users to businesses in a good way. Businesses actually rely a lot on this, but even in the US, 60% of small businesses don't have an online booking system set up. We think AI can help with this problem. So let's go back to this example. Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now. Okay, we have a 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? The first name is Lisa. Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks. Great. Have a great day. Bye.
And that's the point that I'm making. That's duplex in its entirety. That is duplex for you. That's what it can do. It can literally make that appointment, and it's still, even though that demo was from several years back, it still baffles me on just the human mannerisms that the assistant had. The type of thing, which are natural responses from a human on a phone call interaction, setting up, an appointment for a transaction, right? Someone, I deal with it every day as a call center agent, talking to customers every day. And when I ask them certain things, or, if I tell them like, okay, give me 1 second, let me look into that. That is like a natural response. I'm like, take your time, or I'll wait, or just it still blows me away on just how Google Assistant is. So with that being said, by closing out today's podcast. That is why I have this thing about Google Pixels, why I like using them, why I prefer to use them, why when family asks me, since I use Android, what is my best experience on Android? It's always going to be suggested Google Pixel because of those very reasons. Sometimes in life, we can use that extra help. We're not always using it all the time, or at least me, I'm not using Duplex to create doctor's appointments all the time or anything like that, but I can if I want to. Hold for me, call screening, spam screening on your messages. Like all those things are really awesome and cool. Like, do I feel like that I'm this greatest person that can be on the internet with with cybersecurity and not fall victim to this stuff? No, I don't think that, I'm a person that hasn't fallen victim to these online stuff because I'm so intelligent. I have these features that are like, they help me navigate through landmines that could be detrimental to me as a person, right? Because today, we as people, our identities and all that stuff, it's people are going after it. All right, babe. I'm glad you were here hanging out with us. And so to be quite honest with everybody, a lot of these added in helpful features to make my phone more intelligent is welcomed. And to me, that continues on what we used to feel back in 2013, 2014, 2015 with smartphone innovations, the types of things that they were coming up with, the slider QWERTY keyboard smartphones, this type of smartphone, the screen swivels and opens, the adoption of the Sidekick brought by Samsung to replicate the T-Mobile Sidekick, but with Android. And those types of things, yes, those are gone. We're not getting those types of innovation anymore, not just yet. And maybe the second wave of smartphone innovation is going to come soon, and it's going to be a big boom. But until then, I do feel the same type of excitement for tech. I feel when Google starts to announce all these different smart features that your Pixels are going to do. And then, of course, the fact that this past year, Google has integrated its own ecosystem to play very nicely together. And while we did lose something like online gaming with Google Stadia, but Google Stadia had the idea, had the way to seamlessly transition your gaming from your smartphone to your Chromebook laptop to your tablet to your smart TV. You could literally do that, and they implemented that into YouTube. I don't know if anyone's noticed that, but they've implemented that into YouTube on when you're watching a YouTube video. Like if I'm watching a YouTube video on my phone and I pause it and then I get on my Pixelbook Go and I launch YouTube, it shows me the video I was watching in the bottom right corner, ready for me to click play and to expand it into full view from exactly where I paused my video on my phone. You can seamlessly do that to your smart TV as well. You can do that to a tablet. They've integrated that, and they've integrated the same play across all hardware, from your Pixel phone to now the newer Pixel tablet to the Pixelbook Go. It seamlessly integrates. This ecosystem plays well together. The Pixel Watch plays well with all these devices. The Buds play well with all these devices. It's very seamless, and it's growing. So that is my reasonings why Google Pixel stands out and why I'm such a big backer of Google Pixels. And a lot of the stuff we're seeing today was a forecast that foreshadowed in the past from the days of the Google Nexus. And people forget that or don't remember that, the entirety of what Google was aiming to do. So with that, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's podcast episode. And, there is a playlist that is a podcast playlist that I created on YouTube on the main channel. And, the love of tech. Basically, it's just going to be talking mostly about tech on the main channel. And I made one for the Mr. Pixel channel, obviously, when I go live to talk about Google Pixel news. So that will be there. And I appreciate you guys for coming in and hanging out. I appreciate everybody in the chat for coming in and, just kind of engaging, share this on your favorite social platforms for people to check it out. They can listen to it on their downtime when they're at the gym, when they're just trying to relax and want to hear some tech stuff, some tech news, especially coverage of Google Pixel and what's coming. Definitely. And yeah, I will see you guys next Saturday. This Friday I'll be busy. Friday's my birthday next week, or this coming week. So I'll probably be busy. And Saturday I'll come up and do a live stream. So we'll talk to you guys then. Thank you very much for checking out this podcast. You guys are clutch. See you guys later.